Good morning, my dear students. How's your life? Is it good? Are you happy? Okay, welcome to our third science class. Are you ready? Are you ready with your textbook and pencil? Okay, do you remember the name of our chapter? What's the name of our chapter? Yes, living and non-living things. What? Living and non-living things. Are you familiar with its spelling? Do you know its spelling? Yes, I am sure you know its spelling. Okay, in this chapter, we are studying 7 important characters of living things. What? 7 important characters of living things. We already discussed 5 important characters. Do you remember? What's that? Yes, living things need food and water. Living things can breathe. Living things can grow. Living things can move their own kind. Living things can feel. These are the 5 characters that we already discussed. Today, we are going to discuss another important character. What's that? Living things can reproduce. What? Living things can reproduce. What do you mean by reproduce or what do you mean by reproduction? Okay, I will explain. Do you know cat? Cat. The cat will or cat produce a small cat. A cat produce a small cat called kitten. What? A cat produce a small cat called kitten. Like that, dog can produce a small dog. What is it called? Yes, puppy. A cat produce kitten. A dog produce puppy. So, cat can give birth or cat can produce a small cat. That is reproduction. That means living things can produce their own kind. What? Living things can produce their own kind. So, reproduction means the living things can produce their own kind. Clear? A cat can reproduce only a small cat. A dog can reproduce only a small dog. A cat cannot reproduce a dog. Is it possible? Cat can reproduce a dog? No. That is, they can reproduce their own kind. It's reproduction. Are you familiar with the word young ones? Young ones. Young ones means simply babies. The young one of cat is kitten. The young one of dog is puppy. You are the young one of your parents. Clear? Now we are going to discuss how the living things can reproduce. For example, animals. How these animals reproduce? Most of the animals give birth. Animals give birth to the young ones. Clear? Most of the animals give birth to their young ones. For example, dog. Dog give birth to puppies. What about elephant? Elephant give birth to calf. What about tiger? Tiger give birth to cub. Clear? So, animals, most of the land animals give birth to their young ones. Then, what about birds? What about birds? For example, hen. Are you familiar with hen? Yes. Okay. Hen will lays eggs. What? Hen will lays eggs. After some days, from this egg, what will come? A small chick will come from this egg. Small chick or a small hen will comes out from this egg. Once again, hens will reproduce by laying eggs. Hen lay eggs. After some days, from this egg, a small chick or a small hen will comes out. Can you see this picture? Can you see this picture? In this picture, we can see many eggs. From this egg, a small chick comes out from the egg. Clear? A small chick comes out from the egg. This process is called hatch. What? This process is called hatch. From the egg, a small chick comes out. This process is called hatch. Hatch is the process by which living things comes out from the egg, just like in the picture. Once again, hatch is the process by which living things comes out from the egg. Clear? So, birds, insects, snakes, etc. lays egg. From this egg, young ones are hatched out. Clear? Birds, insects, snakes lay eggs. Lay eggs. And these eggs hatch to their young ones. Once again, birds, insects, snakes will lay eggs. From these eggs, young ones are hatches. Clear? Then what about plants? How does plants reproduce? Plants can also reproduce by seeds. How? The plants reproduce by seeds. From the seeds, a small seedling will come out, and after some days, a plant will comes out from the seed. So, from the plants reproduce through seeds. Clear? So, all the living organisms, all the living things can reproduce. Reproduction means the process in which the living things can produce their own kind. Reproduction means the living things can reproduce or produce their own kind. Most of the land animals give birth. For example, dog give birth to puppies. Elephant give birth to calf. And some other living things like birds, insects, snakes lay eggs just like the hen. They lay eggs and hatch to form their young ones. Finally, the plants. Plants reproduce through seeds. Clear? Animals give birth. Birds, insects, snakes lays egg and this egg hatches to young ones. Plants reproduce by seeds. So, all the living things can reproduce. Can non-living things reproduce? Can your pencil reproduce to a small baby pencil? Can your book reproduce to get a small book? No. So, non-living things cannot reproduce. Living things can reproduce. Clear? So, the next character is that living things die. All the living things will die. All the living things can live in the earth. We all are living things. We humans, animals, plants, birds, all are living things. We can live in the earth, but after some time we will die because we all are living things. So, living things live in the earth. After some times they will die. Clear? For example, butterflies. Butterfly. Do you like butterflies? Do you like? Yes, it's very beautiful to see butterflies. They will fly in the sky. Okay, these butterflies will live in the nature, or this butterfly will live in the earth. After 1 to 2 weeks, after 1 to 2 weeks, they will die. These butterflies can live in the nature, they fly in the sky, they will eat food, they will breathe, they can feel. But after 1 to 2 weeks, they will die. Like this, all the living things, animals, plants, insects, all the living things will die after some times. In your textbook, there is a box, there is a table which shows the average lifetime of an organism. The table shows the average lifetime of a living thing. Can you please open your textbook, page number 171. Page number 171. Students, did you take the page? Page number 171. This is the table. It shows the average time period of some living things. For example, crow. Are you familiar with crow? Yes. Crow is a bird. Crow can live 15 to 30 years. Clear? Crow can live 15 to 30 years. After this time period, the crow will die. The crow can live 15 to 30 years. After this time, after 30 years, the crow will die. And butterfly, that we already discussed. Butterfly can live 1 to 2 weeks. After this time, the butterflies will die. Then what about parrot? Parrot can live 50 to 60 years. Or the parrot can live 50 to 60 years. Sharks. Do you know about sharks? Sharks can live 25 to 30 years. After this time, the sharks will die. Dog. Dog can live 12 to 17 years. Dog can live 12 to 17 years. Elephant. Elephant is the largest animal in the land. Elephant can live 50 to 60 years. Tortoise. Do you know tortoise? Yes, tortoise can live 100 to 150 years. Banana plant. Banana plant can live 8 to 10 years. Mango tree. Do you like the mango, the fruit? Yes. Okay, this mango tree can live about 100 years. Mango tree can live about 100 years. The final last one is banyan tree. Banyan tree can live about 2000 years. Listen, banyan tree can live about 2000 years. So, these are some living things and these are their average time period. After this time period, these living things will die. Clear? So, today we discussed two important characters of living things. One is living things can reproduce. In the picture, we can see an elephant. Elephant give birth to a calf. Elephant give birth to a small calf. A dog can give birth to puppies. A dog give birth to puppies. Look at this picture. A small chick comes out from the egg. Birds, snakes, fishes, etc. will lay eggs. From this egg, the young ones will hatch. From this egg, the young one will hatch. This is a reproduction of plants. From a seed, a new plant is produced. From a small seed, a new plant is produced. So, animals, birds, plants can reproduce. So, they are living things. And from this table, animals, birds, plants will die after an average time period. So, these all are living things. Non-living things cannot reproduce and non-living things will not die. Clear? Okay students, let's turn the page. In page number 172, there are some new words. You all are familiar with some of these words, but we can discuss it once more. What is this? It's lungs. Lungs is the body parts of animal that live on land, which help them to breathe. So, lungs is the body part of land animal which help the animals to breathe. Lungs help us for breathing. And the second word is gills. What do you mean by gills? Gills is a body part of fish that help them to breathe. Next is stomata. What is stomata? Stomata is the pores present on the leaves through which air enters a plant. Clear? Stomata is a pores present on the leaves help the plant to breathe or help to enter the air into the plant. And the fourth one is seedling. What is seedling? Seedling is a baby plant that comes out from a seed. Next is reproduction that we discussed today. The process by which living things produce their own kind. What is reproduction? The process by which living things produce their own kind. And the last word is hatch. Hatch is the process by which the young ones of animals come out of the egg. What is hatch? Is the process by which young ones of animals come out of the egg. Clear? These are the new words that we studied in this chapter. Okay students, just recall the chapter. We can divide all the things in the nature into living and non-living things. What are the characters of living things? Living things need food and water. Non-living things do not need food and water. Living things can breathe. Non-living things do not breathe. Living things can grow. They can grow in size. Non-living things do not grow. Living things move on their own. Non-living things do not move on their own. Living things can feel. Non-living things do not feel. Living things can reproduce. Non-living things do not reproduce. Living things will die. Non-living things do not die. So, these are the characters that we discussed or learned in this chapter. Take page number 173. Page number 173. Now, we can do some exercise from this chapter. The first question is, take the correct word to complete each sentence. We want to take the correct word. Okay, coming to the first question. Eagles move by what? Here there are 4 options. One is flying, swimming, crawling, hopping. Eagles move by which one? Eagle is a bird. So, eagles move by flying. Fish will move by swimming. Insects will move by crawling. Kangaroo will move by hopping. Clear? Second question. Plants make their own food in the presence of only air, air and water only, air and sunlight only, air, water and sunlight. Which will be the right answer? Yes, this is the right answer. Plants make their own food in the presence of air, water and sunlight. Okay, third question. Insects have first option stomata, air holes, gills, lungs. Which is the right answer? Insects have air holes. Stomata is for leaves, gills is for fish, lungs is for land animals. Insects have air holes. And the fourth one is plants reproduce from eggs, stomata, seeds, seedling. What is the answer? Plants reproduce from seeds. From the seeds, seedlings, and from the seedling, plants will form. Clear? Fish reproduce by giving birth to puppies, giving birth to cubs, laying eggs, laying baby fish. Which is the right answer? This is the right answer. Fish reproduce by laying eggs. Giving birth to puppies. Dog will give birth to puppies. Tiger giving birth to cubs. So, fish reproduce by laying eggs. And this is the second question. Second exercise. Take the true statement and cross the false statement. Clear? True statements just tick. For the false statement, just put a cross. The first question is, non-living things give birth to young ones. Is it right? Can non-living things like pencil give birth to young ones? No, this is a false statement. So, just put a cross here. Just put a cross like this using your pencil. And the second one is, living things breathe in air. Is it right? Living things breathe in air. Yes, it's true. Then just put a tick mark. Non-living things grow. Did non-living things like your book can grow? No. So just put a cross mark here. Non-living things can feel. Is it right? No, it's false. So just put a cross mark. Tables and chairs are non-living things. Is it right? Yes, it's a true statement. So just put a tick here. And coming to the third exercise is the match the following. We want to match the correct statement. We want to match the correct options. First one is most birds. Second, plants. Third, land animals. Fourth, fish. Here, breathe through gills. Give birth to young ones. Fly. Do not move from one place to another. So, most birds. What will be the answer? Most birds can fly. This is the answer. So, you should join a line. You should join most birds and fly using a line. Clear? Second one is plants. Plants do not move from one place to another. Plants do not move from one place to another. And the third one is land animals. Land animals give birth to young ones. Fish breathe through gills. So students, you should match this using your scale and pencil. Do it very neatly. Okay, these are some exercises that you want to do in your textbook. Students, there is a question in your textbook. Define reproduction. Define reproduction. The answer is the process by which living things produce their own kind. Clear? Reproduction means the process by which living things produce their own kind. Another question in your textbook is, how do living things reproduce? How do living things reproduce? The answer is, Land animals give birth to young ones. Birds, insects lay eggs from which young ones hatch. Plants reproduce from seeds. Clear? How do living things reproduce? Land animals give birth to young ones. Birds, insects lay eggs from which young ones hatch. Plants reproduce from seeds. Okay, the last question is explain giving an example to show that living things can feel. That we already discussed. The answer is living things can feel. We can feel pain, hot and cold. And another example, plants like touch me not, close when touched. Clear? Living things can feel. We can feel pain, hot or cold. And another example is that plants like touch me not, close when touched. So, these are the answers for the questions in your textbook. Please copy these answers in your notebook. Do the exercise in your textbook using the pencil. Do it neatly. Read your textbook at least 5 times. Okay, that's all for today's session. Let's wind up. Take care, my dears. Bye.